Now it's time to learn about the OnSaveInstanceState and save the state of the application. So now go ahead and open your main activity class of the quiz app project. And then here, let's just override the OnSaveInstanceState. So choose this method that has only one parameter, and this parameter is of type bundle. And then here you can see that this parameter outState can be used to save the data to the bundle. And in order to save the data to the bundle, we need to use key value pairs. It's just like dictionary. For example, in the dictionary, you search for the meaning of the word computer, right? And then it's gonna give you the value or the meaning of this word, or it's gonna say, for example, a robot, right? So this is the key computer that you search, and it's gonna give you the value a robot as the definition of this word. So the format that we are going to use here in order to save the data to the bundle is just like this. So I'm going to refer to this outState, this parameter, and I'm gonna say .put. So we can use this put method in order to save any type of data. It can be of type char, char array, float, integer, anything. But let's choose this put integer. So this putInt method needs two arguments. So the first argument is going to be the key, which is of type string, and the second argument is going to be our value, which is of type integer. So here, first I need to pass the key. So I just put two double quotes here. So first and foremost, we want to store the score of the user so that when the application goes into the landscape mode, we can get the score. So we have the user score, right? So I'm gonna pass the value score in capital. All of these letters are capitalized as the key, and then the value is going to be user score, okay? So later when we want to retrieve the value of this user score, we just need to refer to this key score. Another better way is to create a constant at the top of our class. So if I just scroll to the top, here inside the class, I can just say private final and string. So the data type is string. So the name is going to be capitalized, and I'm gonna say score underline key assignment operator. The value is going to be score semicolon. So now here I just need to refer to that constant score key. And now it's better. It's a very good programming practice to use constants as the names of your keys. So the next value that we want to store is the last question that the user was on. So for example, when the user is on the question number 5 and the application goes into the landscape mode, we want to get that number, get that question number, and show the same question to the user. So here in our project, we have a member variable that keeps track of the question that is being displayed on the screen. And that member variable is mQuestionIndex. So this mQuestionIndex is going to help us to get the question that the user was on when the device was in the portrait mode or in the landscape mode. So here I'm gonna say outState.putInt. So again, I'm gonna create a constant here. I'm just gonna copy and paste this constant here. So let's change this name to index key and the value to index, okay? And then let's scroll down here. So the key is going to be index key, comma, and the value is going to be mQuestionIndex. Okay, so now let's go to the onCreate method here. And here you can see that this onCreate method has a parameter of type bundle. So the name of this parameter is SavedInstanceState. So what's going on here? So when the user runs the application from the launcher icon, this value of this bundle is null because there is no value here. It's just a null value, and null means nothing, okay? But when the user has already run the application and the application is already doing some stuff, saving data here and there, then this saved instance state might not be null. So here, after this set content view, I'm going to create an if statement and say if the saved instance state is not equal to null, null means nothing, okay? Then we are sure that it has a value. So this means that it might has a value that we can use in the landscape mode. So we can get the value of the state variables. So the application goes back to the state that it was when it was in the portrait or in the landscape mode. So because inside the OnSaveInstanceState method, we saved some data here to these keys, let's go ahead and retrieve this data. So here it is your challenge. For example, I want to get the value of this user score. So just go ahead and find a way to get the value of this user score from this saved instance state. If you want to, you can also search online or in Stack Overflow to find the answer to this problem. Pause the video, and when you're ready, just continue watching this tutorial and see how I am going to solve this issue. So hopefully you could have found the answer. But now I'm just going to refer to this user score assignment operator, and I'm going to refer to this save instance state dot get. So here I need to determine what type of data I want to get from this bundle. I want to get an integer value. So I get int, and I need to pass the key. So I have already specified the key here above, score key, this constant. So I'm going to pass this score key here, semicolon. So here, let's go ahead and get the value of the second key, the key that we specified for the index. And here I'm going to say question index assignment operator saved instance state dot get int. So the key is going to be index key, semicolon. So we should also have an else statement here for this if, because if the bundle is actually null or nothing, then we are going to set the value of this user score to be 0, because this means that the application is just run and the user has just started. So the value of the user score is going to be 0. And also the value of the question index is going to be 0 if the bundle is actually null. So let's go ahead and run the program and see the result. So here it is, the application running. Let's play with the quiz a little bit. Let's get some scores. So now I want to just transition to the landscape mode. So let's rotate to the right and then get it into the landscape mode. So here, let's see what happens. As you can see, the value of this score is disappeared. There is no value here. And here, if I just try to answer the question again, you can see that it's gonna give me back the score. So we need to somehow update this text view, this txt quiz stats, so we can get the value here when the device transitions into landscape mode. So one way is to do it here inside this if statement, if the bundle, if this saved instance state is not equal to null inside this onCreate method. But let's do that and see what happens. Let's say a quiz stats text view dot set text, and let's get the value of this user score, and then let's just convert it to a string value. So let's go ahead and run the program and see what happens. So let's play with the quiz a little bit here. Now I'm just going to transition to the landscape mode. Now the application is crashed. So let's go into the logcat area, and here it is, the error area. So I'm just gonna find the error. I'm gonna scroll to the top. If you don't find anything useful here, you can just clear this logcat area, and then you can just transition back to the portrait mode, and here try to run the application again. So here, play with the quiz a little bit here, and then transition to the landscape mode. So now the application is crashed, and here it is, the error. It says that we have a null pointer exception. Attempt to invoke virtual method void android.widget.textView set text on a null object reference. So it says that in line number 62, This is the code that is responsible for the crashing of the application. So here we are setting the text of this mquiz stats text view, and it says that this widget text view is actually null, and we are calling this method setText on a null object reference. So what does this mean? So this means that if you take a look at the declaration of this text view, mquiz stats text view, here we just declared this text view. We didn't initialize it in line number 28 inside our class. And we went and inside the onCreate method here, in line number 85, we initialized this text view, but not before that. But here, before we initialize this text view, we are trying to set a text to this text view. So that's why at this point, this text view is actually null. So we are not allowed to call the setText on this null object reference. So how can we solve this problem? We can simply cut this line of code and put it here after we initialize this text view. Okay, mquiz stats text view dot setText muser score. Now, if you go ahead and run the program, you will see that the application won't crash. So here I'm gonna play with the quiz a little bit here, and let's transition to the landscape mode. Now the application is not crashed, and we can see the score, and we can play with the quiz again. So here it says the quiz is finished, your score is 5. Finish the quiz. Done. So congratulations, you have created your own quiz application and you have learned lots of things about Android development and Android lifecycle.